velocity, and also the philosophy of knowing that he can blow it by you. Sometimes they'll say, all right, 3-2 here, try and hit it. Well, that's probably why they hit it a little more often. Payoff pitch is just outside, ball 4. A check to third, no swing, says Paul Clemens, and Lindor draws the leadoff walk.
Another close pitch, too, and the ABS system is, we're going to see some strategies, right? I think the Mets may be a team that says you can't challenge anything till after the 6th or the 7th. They're just holding to the 9th inning.
That lands off the screen next to the Pirate dugout on the third base side. Would you agree that he was a lot more interactive with his teammates and just seemed a lot more loose?
Yeah, I mean, last year it was very muted from him, and I mean, Carlos Mendoza said he's just trying to feel what is everybody about around here, and before you start trusting everybody, you got to figure them out.
1-2 to Soto, hit softly in the air, right center, gonna fall, base hit. Lindor read it on his way to third. The throw by Cruz, head first slide, he's safe. Holding at first is Soto, and the Mets have runners in the corners, nobody out. Good base running there by Lindor, recognizing that Soto did not score the ball, that it was going to drop in front of Cruz, who does have a sensational throwing arm. Remember, he came up as a shortstop, but Lindor, reading it well, decided he'd be able to make it to third, and it was close, but he's in there. The Mets have first and third, nobody out, and Bo Bichette coming up for the first time as a Met.
Tell you what,
this early in the game is something that will benefit any team later on, especially early this year when the limitations are on. Here's the 0-2 to Bichette. Reach for, hit in the air to right field, not terribly deep. O'Hearn over near the line, makes the catch. Lindor tags. He's going to come down the line to score as the throw goes to second. Holding it first is Soto. Sacrifice fly for Bo Bichette, and the Pittsburgh lead is cut to 2-1.
Creative way of saying you stink.
Well, Azek doesn't. They're great, and we're glad they're with us at the moment. 1-1 to Polanco. Little check swing roller up the third base line. Skenes off the mound. Bare hands will not make a throw. And it's an infield hit for Jorge Polanco in his Mets first plate appearance. And now the Mets trailing 2-1 in the first inning. Have runners at first and second, one out. And again, Skenes has already thrown 19 pitches, and that's the story within this first inning story.
And it's putting the ball in play too, right? We have walk, single, sac fly, and a little infield hit by Polanco. And it doesn't have to be the biggest, broadest 3-run home run, 2-run home run. Just put the ball in play. Tough.
3-2. Skenes set. They don't go. And the pitch is outside, ball 4. Robert grinds out the walk. The bases are loaded.
Exactly what I'm talking about with Robert is not chasing those nasty sliders down and away, where maybe last year or a year before he'd be chasing and fish numbers were through the roof. Well, now that he's within the Mets organization, the tweaks are great tweaks because you had the power, you had the discipline against a guy like Skenes, and all of it adding up so far to the bases loaded and Brett Beatty coming up.
It's an hour from Skenes. Well, Beatty's the DH today, and he may be the new Jeff McNeil in terms of versatility. The 0-1. Swinging a fly ball hit to center right at Cruz. Backing up. It's over his head and goes to the wall. In comes Soto. Polanco right behind him. Behind him is Robert. They all score as Robert scores standing, and going to third with a 3-run triple is Brett Beatty, and the Mets have a 4-2 lead. This has been a near perfectly executed offensive first inning for the New York Mets with their new philosophy and new talent against the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the National League, Paul Skenes. 4 runs in, 3-run triple for Beatty, 4-2 New York.
And now the infield coming in, pressure still on here.
The infield up for Marcus Semien in his Mets debut. First pitch. Fastball hit high in the air to center, not too deep. In comes Cruz, shading his eyes. He can't come up with it. It falls in front of him or to his left. Coming in to score is Beatty. Digging for second is Semien, and he's in with a misplayed double, and the Mets have a 5-2 lead. Man, you almost get the feeling that O'Neal Cruz, in his mind, was still thinking about the fact that he misjudged the ball off of Beatty's bat, and then couldn't come up with the ball that Semien hit, which fell not so much in front of him as it did off to his left.
This one he fought in the sun there with his glove up in front of his face, and at the last second he put his bare hand up in front of his face. That didn't help either. 20 minutes in defensively.
The 0-1. Hit him. Alvarez hit, it would appear, around the elbow. I'll have to look at a replay to be sure, but Alvarez gets plunked, and of course, he had so many varying physical problems last year, a lot of it hand and thumb related, and here's Skenes running one in on him that just just barely clipped the bottom of that protector, and I think that's going to be it for Skenes.
Don Kelly coming out, second visit of the inning. Paul Skenes gone in the first inning of opening day. How about that? 9
batters, 37 pitches in. To the showers goes Skenes. 5-2 New York, and this call to the bullpen is brought to you by Red Pocket Mobile. Visit redpocket.com to see why more Americans are switching to better wireless while also playing less.
Simultaneously this summer. 2 on, 2 out. 2-run lead for the Mets in the fourth. The 1-2. Robert, it's a sharp ground ball left side. Base hit going into left field. Lindor rounds third. He's heading. Hall Reynolds throw to the plate. Offline. Lindor scores standing up. Soto to second. And Robert Jr. is at first base with an RBI. His first RBI as a Met. A single left makes it 6-3 Mets in the fourth. Forcing these Pirates pitchers to throw a lot of pitches. Battling, and that's a 2-strike hit for Robert there. It's so big for his game to not be just some guys are give-up outs. You get them to 2 strikes, they're cooked. And Robert at times has had that in his career, but a fresh start, new landscape, change of scenery. So far, so good.
2-1 the count. Here's pitch. Swinging a grounder wide of short, base hit going into left center. Benge around third, scores. Alvarez to third. He'll stop there. So Lindor goes to second. Soto on at first with an RBI single, and the Mets now lead 7-4.
Well, that works too, and for Soto is just place it nicely. Just hit it hard somewhere. And the way that the Pirates were set up defensively, the shortstop Triola was way up the middle, thinking that Soto's going to pull this ball. Well, we know Soto goes the other way with as much power as anybody else, and so he'll keep the line moving now for Bichette.
Ready to go. The outfield straight away. The infield around to the right side. Matson sets. The 3-0 to Polanco. High ball 4. It forces in a run. 8-4 New York. Matson missed upstairs with a fastball.
8 walks now by Pittsburgh pitching, and yes, it's the Pirates not throwing strikes, but it's also the Mets finding themselves in great spots. It's hard to throw strikes when you've got runners breathing down your neck at every spot. That's
1-1 the count. Here's pitch to Robert. Check swing, little roller to the right of the mound, missed by the pitcher. Hustles to cover first, but the throw is too late, and a run scores. Lindor comes home. Soto to third, Polanco to second. Luis Robert Jr. with a little excuse me ground ball single just to the right of the pitcher's mound has now given the Mets a 9-4 lead.
Spencer Horwitz's stop between first and second and his turn to look at the video board because he wanted to see where he was coming off first to try to field this ball. As soon as he broke to his right, this is that no man's land Bermuda Triangle area. As soon as he broke to his right, he froze for a second, hesitated. He probably should have got back to first. The second baseman should have helped, but advantage Mets after that.
Last year from the Colorado Rockies. Got in 17 games with the Pirates last year. Spent most of the year out with elbow problems. First pitch, Benge hits it in the air to right field, fairly deep. O'Hearn back at the wall, and it's gone! He hit it off the canopy in the right field bullpen. Carson Benge makes his first major league hit, a home run! Congratulations to Carson Benge as he gets an enthusiastic pat on the back from third base coach Tim Leeper. An aggressive fist bump from Francisco Alvarez, and they're waiting to congratulate the kid in the Mets dugout. Carson Benge, his first major league knock and homer, and the Mets take a 10-5 lead.
And a sea of arms and high fives swallow him up as he goes down the line in that dugout. Look at a smile on his face. And the fans love it. They love this kid.
Alvarez takes a call strike, 0-1. 40th anniversary of 86, and here is a very sheepish semi-curtain call from Benge, who didn't even get over the top step. Ray Knight, Gary Carter, man, they'd be halfway up on the dugout roof by now.
I was wondering if the dugout was going to go, hey, should we do silent treatment? I think that kind of took everybody by surprise. And then they made a little lane for him to come down, and he was high-fiving left and right all the way down.
0-1 to Alvarez. Breaking ball wide, goes to the backstop, and it's his feet a bit. And did he ever scream? And good for him. 2-2 the count. The pitch to Alvarez, hit in the air to deep left field. Forget it. This one sails into the second deck behind the 358 mark. A home run to left field for Alvarez as he goes back-to-back with Benge. And the Mets now lead 11-5.
Oh, you have Benge, who flew out of the box and around first base on his home run. This one, Alvarez did the classic swing and stare and take the slow trot up the line, a look into the dugout, flexing that bicep. That was a shot, a classic Alvarez bomb.
This has been some kind of offensive debut for a retooled New York Mets team that has performed better than anyone could have anticipated just from that narrow standpoint today. Who's hanging in? Mets won a World Series before they ever won an opening day game. And yet they've got the best all-time record now on opening day. 1-2 to Cruz. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike three. Put it in the books. Garcia gets him with a split. And the Mets, certainly from an offensive standpoint, extremely impressive in beating the Pirates on opening day, as Garcia strikes out two in a ninth inning, during which the Pirates scored 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, 1 man left, but the final score, the New York Mets 11 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 7, on an afternoon when you figured runs would probably be at a premium when you consider the starting pitchers were the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the National League, Paul Skenes, who had the best earned run average in the major leagues last year, and Freddie Peralta in his Mets debut, who had the 7th best earned run average in the major leagues last season.
By PNC, go to pirates.com/tickets. Another 3-2. Check swing, ball 4, and appeal down third baseway. He did not go after it on the check swing, and so he reaches on a leadoff walk.
Not what Paul's trying to do right there. It just looks like he's a little bit overamped and maybe a little too excited, but who could blame him? Spotted a 2-run lead here in the top of the first inning.
Awaits on deck for the Mets. Spencer Horwitz holds Lindor on at first. Lindor swiped 31 bags last year. 3-2 pitch and drives it into right center field and gets down a base hit. And O'Neill Cruz fires toward third base, and he is going to be safe at third. Lindor a head-first dive. And the Mets have runners at first and third with nobody out. Bichette with Jorge Polanco on deck. First and third. Pirates lead 2-0. Nobody out. Skenes for the Pirates. 0-2 pitch. Fly ball shallow right. O'Hearn over by the foul line, and O'Hearn will make the catch. Runner at third will tag and will score as the throw comes into second base. Sacrifice fly, Bichette, and it's a 2-1 ball game. Pirates lead.
I couldn't see from this vantage point, Brownie, did that land, or would that have landed in foul territory or fair territory?
Yeah, I couldn't see either. We get
nonetheless
blocked by the high seating area down right field way.
Looked like a front door changeup to Bo Bichette. Out in front of it a little bit, but was able to keep the hands back.
1990, and Drabick pitched the home opener the next year. The dribbler half swing, and Paul Skenes will have to eat it. A little swinging bunt up the third baseline that died a quarter of the way up the line. Skenes off the mound, bare hand, a look to first, but no play. Infield hit Polanco. Soto to second.
Skenes wisely puts that one in his back pocket. Nothing he could do right there. Polanco just a couple of steps away from the bag by the time Paul got to the baseball. And Nick Gonzalez with a left-handed hitting Polanco at the plate was deep and shaded over towards shortstop.
Mets bat against Skenes. Payoff pitch. He walked him on a breaking ball, and they are loaded. 2 walks in the inning. Brett Beatty will come to the plate. Bill Murphy, the new pitching coach this year for the Pirates, will make his first trip in the very first inning. First
inning, that was one of the better ones. You got to think Beatty was looking first pitch fastball, something he can do. He can do some damage with. Nice to pull the string, get him out in front.
And the 0-1, and a line drive center field, and Cruz started in, now's back, and it's over his head. He misplayed it. This will score at least a couple. In fact, it'll clear the bases. Beatty into third base with a bases clearing triple. And the Mets have answered in a big way in the bottom of the first inning. They now lead the Pirates 4-2.
That one hurts right there. That's a ball that O'Neill Cruz should have caught. It was another changeup, Skenes through. This one elevated a little more, allowed Beatty to get to the baseball and drive it pretty good. But again, you mentioned it, O'Neill Cruz, first 3 or 4 steps were in, and then it was about a body length out of his reach over his head. That one hurts.
Infield in. Skenes to Marcus Semien. It's a fly ball to center field, shallow. Cruz coming in, shading his eyes, can't find it. Ball drops, run scores, and now Reynolds picks the ball up, fires to second, but late as Semien was hustling, he goes into second base. Will likely be ruled a double. Lost in the sun in a disastrous first inning for O'Neill Cruz and the Pirates.
Yeah, not good right there. You saw it, O'Neill Cruz running in, and I don't think there's any way Brett Beatty tries to run. O'Neill Cruz got a rocket of a right arm and pretty shallow center field, but you saw that glove go up and him trying to get underneath it, and your heart sank right there.
It is 5-2. Alvarez with 256 last year with 11 homers. Injuries limited his play behind the plate last year. Here's the pitch from Skenes, and it hits Alvarez, just nicks him on the arm. And back to the top of the order in Francisco Lindor, who walked to begin the home half of the first inning after the Pirates got a 2-run homer from Brandon Lau. Paul Skenes walks 2, gives up 3 hits, and that's going to be it for him. Yeah, nobody had this on the bingo card.
No, not at all. 37 pitches, and I think, the 2 free passes, and they're the hit by pitch to Francisco Alvarez. That's going to be the day for Paul. But you see a starting pitcher get close to 40 pitches in the first inning. It's pretty common. That's going to be it. But especially opening day and the first start, tough day.
Yeah, tough indeed. The call to the bullpen brought to you by Ring Central, the voice of your business. New pitcher coming on for the Pirates, replacing Paul Skenes.
Here, a couple of breaking balls. Run that fastball up above the belt.
Here's the 1-2. And sharply hit into left field. A base hit. Reynolds coming on. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is going to be off the mark. And an RBI single for Luis Robert Jr. Brings home Lindor and makes it 6-3 Mets in the 4th.
It looked like they went back to the slider, tried to get it down and in underneath the bat of Luis Robert Jr. Stayed elevated a little bit. I was just saying, run that fastball with Mason Montgomery's velocity. He's seen a couple of sliders. Watching the replay there, that one actually backed up a little bit over the middle part of the plate. But after seeing the 2 sliders that weren't bad pitches, run that fastball above the belt, it's going to be hard for a right-handed hitter to catch up to it.
Benge at third, Alvarez at second, and Lindor at first. Ground ball left side. That'll sneak through into left field. This will score 1. And they'll hold Alvarez at third. RBI single Soto. 7-4 Mets. Bases remain loaded.
Just a good piece of hitting from Juan Soto right there. He got his 1 pitch, the 2-0 fastball, to take the big swing, and then after that, he shortened up. He had a lot of open real estate on the left side of the infield with Jared Triolo playing over behind the bag. Second base, Nick Gonzalez not too far off the third base bag, trying to keep the runner at the time close.
Benge, that's when Don Kelly went and got Matson, who gave up a single, a walk, an RBI hit, then the strikeout of Bichette. Pitch is taken for ball 4, and he walks in a run. 4-pitch walk to Polanco, 8-4 Mets.
And again, Brownie, just Pirates pitching today being in the strike zone. No defense for the walk or the hit batsman.
Batters Montgomery faced, he walked 3. His ball check swing, bouncer past the pitcher, nobody covering, and a safe call at first. And a run in.
That's a
tough 9-4.
Tough break right there for Isaac Mattson and the Pirates. Little check swing from Luis Robert Jr. And kind of that in-betweener they practice all the spring training, but it looked like Isaac Mattson was going to get to it, stuck his glove out, and then unfortunately when he didn't get it, I think he thought it was hit hard enough for the second baseman, Brendan Lau, to get to it, but Spencer Horwitz going over to make the play, and like you said, nobody covering first base. So what Mattson's got to do right there in that situation when he can't get to it, just continue on to the bag, and if he does.
Major League debut, 2 strikeouts and a walk. I thought maybe they'd get out of that inning with no damage last inning. Benge out to deep right field. This one toward the wall and gone. A home run. Carson Benge homers in his Major League debut. And New York's rocking. They're up 10-5.
They got a first pitch sweeper from Justin Lawrence right there, middle part of the plate. That's a little bit frustrating because this whole ball game, Carson Benge, you watch his swings, he just hasn't shown yet that he's on the fastball. A lot of late, delayed swings on the fastball, kind of behind. Fouled a few off over the third base dugout. So I know Justin Lawrence is trying to backdoor that, steal a strike, get ahead 0-1. But Justin Lawrence has got a really good live fastball with heavy sink on it.
Strike 1 to Alvarez, and they want a curtain call, and they get it. 23-year-old Carson Benge. Found out he made the club just the other day.
Saw the hole, recognized a hole on that side of the field, and just went with it.
Here's the pitch, and a swing and a deep fly ball to left. This one's way out of here. Alvarez homers. The Mets go back-to-back. That's in the recessed second deck. 2 home runs for the Mets off Justin Lawrence, and they have busted it wide open. It's 11-5 in the 6th.
That was a big one right there from Francisco Alvarez. Got a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, middle part of the plate, about thigh high. And he put a big swing on it. You don't see a whole lot of them go up there, Joe.
Remember, Lawrence had come into this game. Now, this dates back to last year. He had 16 consecutive scoreless outings, so we're not used to this.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if I've seen too many go up there. Now, this used to be a cavernous ballpark for right-handed batters. Would make the tying run on deck, and likely we would see Devin Williams was warmed and ready in the Mets pen. 2 in here in the 9th. 1-2 coming. Cruz strikes out swinging, and that's how the game ends. 11-7 Mets, the final on opening day in New York, and we'll give you the totals and summaries, post-game show to follow coming up right here on the Pirates Radio Network, presented by Iron City and IC Light.